10 rare football rules you didn't know existed. These are some of the most rare rules in football most people don't know about. In this video we make a top 10 list of football rules most football players and fans don't know about. Recently, because of extra substitutions, huge additional stoppage, VAR, football fans around the world have been discussing the rules and laws of the game every single weekend, and in this video you will learn new rules you probably have never heard of before, even though they do exist. Make sure to watch the full top 10 list now to find out the 10 most rare football rules you didn't know existed. However, before we begin the countdown, we would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon. Let's get started. If you think there has been an abnormal amount of stoppage time at the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, your gut feeling is correct. FIFA Referee Committee Chairman revealed the reason for the seemingly exorbitant amount of time that is being added on at the end of the halves. When we speak about wasted time in a match, we should make a difference between the time wasted because of the game and the time wasted deliberately by players. The largest part is the time wasted because of the match goal celebrations are also part of the stoppage time calculus. Iran goalkeeper Ali Reza Behranvand suffered a nasty head injury against England, which contributed heavily to the 14 minutes of added time to the first half. The second half finished after 13 minutes of stoppage time. That's 27 minutes of added time, which is basically the equivalent of overtime. Teams competing at this year's World Cup will have a new substitution system to follow in Qatar after FIFA brought in new rules on changes during a game. Previous World Cups had seen teams permitted to use up to 3 substitutions in a game. But following the COVID-19 pandemic, football has undergone a transformation in regards to substitutions. European domestic leagues began introducing new rules which allowed teams to make up to 5 substitutions. One strange rule that is not very often put to the test is that you cannot score an own goal from your own free kick or throw in. Rules state that should the ball go directly into a team's own goal from a free kick, then it will be awarded as a corner to the opposing team, as if it had crossed the touchline either side of the goal. In a similar rule to the first on the list, it is not possible to score an own goal directly from a throw. If the player is to throw the ball back to the keeper, and it goes past him with no contact into the net, then a corner would again be awarded to the other team. The FA rule states, if a direct or indirect free kick is kicked directly into the team's own goal, a corner kick is awarded. According to Rule 12, a player is cautioned if the referee thinks he is cheering with provocative, mocking or instigative gestures. He climbs up a fence to celebrate a goal. He takes off his shirt or pulls it over his head. He covers his head or face with a mask or similar objects. More concretely, this means that if a player takes off his jersey, he will be warned with a yellow card. Worst case scenario, he will be suspended for the next game if he commits another offense during the game which is being played. In addition to the cultural differences between FIFA countries, other factors play a role too. Some players use the tradition of taking off their jerseys for their private purposes. Some jerseys even reveal a body with an advertising message or a personal greeting. Religious views were also demonstrated time to time. With a general prohibition to take off the jersey, one tries therefore to stop such messages. Thus, the match becomes the main focus again. The team that wins the toss can now choose to take the kick off or which goal to attach, but in the past the captain who won the toss could only choose which goal to attack, but he can now choose to start the game instead. Now this is another recent addition to the official rulebook, and while it may not be the most meaningful one, well now you know it exists. If a match goes to penalties and one team only has 10 players whilst the other team has 11, the team with 11 players has to nominate a player to not take part in the penalty shootout. It is now 10 versus 10, so they would just continue the penalty shootout using the normal rules. For example, in 2006 World Cup final between France and Italy, Zidane was famously sent off 110 minutes of the game, and since France had 10 players, Italy had to exclude a player from the team to make it equal number on both sides. A match is played by two teams, each with a maximum of 11 players. One must be the goalkeeper. However, you could technically start a match with 7 players. A match may not start or continue if either team has fewer than 7 players. If a team has fewer than 7 players because one or more players has deliberately left the field of play, the referee is not obliged to stop play and the advantage may be played, but the match must not resume after the ball is gone out of play if a team does not have the minimum number of 7 players. If the competition rules state that all players and substitutes must be named before kickoff and a team starts a match with fewer than 11 players, only the players and substitutes named on the team list may take part in the match upon their arrival. On a rare occasion in which tempers boil over before the match has begun, the referee reserves the right to show red cards to both players and coaching staff. There are a few rules that describe what must happen next, including to what extent they must be excluded from proceedings. For a player who is sent off, the rules state, after being named on the team list and before kickoff, the player may be replaced by a named substitute, who cannot be replaced. The number of substitutions the team can make is not reduced. Should you strike the ball towards goal, and it becomes damaged in the air before beating the goalkeeper, then the goal will not stand. Rules state that if the ball becomes defective, play is stopped and restarted with a dropped ball. Additionally, the FA document says, if the ball becomes defective during a penalty kick or kicks from the penalty mark as it moves forward and before it touches a player, crossbar or goalposts, the penalty kick is retaken. A great goalkeeper is the pillar of any successful soccer team. You can ask any professional coach and they will likely tell you that the men and women who stand between the posts play a key role in how competitive a club are and whether they will grind out positive results. Sometimes, when the stakes in a match are so high, goalkeepers tend to hold on to the soccer ball for a long time after making a catch. Of course, it makes sense for them to do this, especially if their team was coming under considerable amounts of opposition pressure. Especially when a game is about to come to its conclusion, goalkeepers are known to hold the ball for a long time to give their teammates a breather and run down the clock a tiny bit more. However, doing so in an excessive manner is not permitted by the laws of the sport. More specifically, a goalkeeper is only allowed to hold onto the ball for a maximum duration of 6 seconds. If that time period elapses before the goalkeeper in question releases the ball, then an indirect free kick would be awarded inside the penalty area to the opposing side. That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any of our new videos. In the end, thanks for watching and see you next time.